barbershop conversation, guys. Hit the subscribe button. 58 years ago, the Nation of Islam murdered Malcolm X. Go to my video before, and you can hear Louis Farrakhan admitting that he knew Elijah Muhammad was raping those teenage secretaries. All right, let's talk about this, man. Terence Crawford basically said Fanon and Ego, they mama should have swallowed them. Now, I'm going to say this. You don't know until you know. And I was a huge proponent of Earl Spence versus Terence Crawford. And obviously, you know, I had Earl Spence. And back when Al Heyman had the money in 2018, 2019, I was like, yeah, man, Terence Crawford need to go. And I was hard on Terence, you know, and we said what we said to each other about 15 feet away from each other. And I mean, it is what it is. Terence Crawford ain't no punk, you know what I mean? And I knew that. So I wasn't going to go inside 15 feet. I'm going to stay 15 feet away. Even though I was like, I don't fuck with you either. But I didn't want him to come closer because I would have took a step back. Appreciate you, Terrence, for sparing my life that day. But on the real deal, you don't know until you know, right? Now it's 2023. Adrian Broner has spoken out. Luis Nery's fighting on the network. Schoolboy Steph is going to fight on ESPN and go to Japan. Tony Harrison is going to Australia. All major names are fighting on pay-per-view. Deontay Wilder has spoken out. He need to get paid on time. So we got a lot of tall tales moving forward in 2023. I think it behooves us, when you know the truth, you there. You know what I mean? And when you know, you know. And that's just the reality of this, man. If you're still... See what's going to happen is the fighters are going to speak out. And platforms like Fanon and Boxing Ego will lose a lot of credibility. And whoever else is advocating for them. You know what I mean? PBC and PBC fighters at this point. You know? And I warned y'all this day was coming. But when you see a Deontay Wilder fight on another network, when you see whoever else fight on other networks, you see them getting pay cuts. And by the end of the year, you see Jamal Charlo ain't fought in 2 years. And you're saying, I'm blackity black. But Gary Russell and Jamal Charlo ain't fought in over a year. Prior to Gary Russell fighting, it was 2 years, and he had to take a date with the hurt shoulder because he didn't know when he was gonna get another date back. Now, media got to stand for truth, because really there's no value in advocating for PBC. What's the value in it? You're going to get the interviews anyway, whether they like you or hate you. You know, you can respond to an interview, but and I know people are going to say, well, you don't like PBC. I don't care about them. You know, I had blind loyalty at one point, and I've been always forthright and straightforward with you guys, but you don't know until you know. You know, today is February 21st. Like, Malcolm X supported Elijah Muhammad for 12 years. Then he woke up and was like, hey, you was molesting these little teenage secretaries? And then I woke up and was like, wait a minute, hold up. Al Heyman, you robbing these fighters. These fighters fighting once a year. You wasting their prime. You're using them to allegedly wash that hedge fund money, and you're going to get away like a fat cat, and you're literally the middleman. Al Heyman is literally putting up no money. The networks run boxing, and that will be Showtime and then Fox. But I think we're going up a slippery slope with this Terence Crawford. Now it's the hate is ridiculous at this point. The Terence Crawford hate. And I still have Earl Spence beating Terence Crawford. You know what I mean? But I'm going to tell you what I did do. When I knew the truth, I reached out to Terence Crawford team and I told them the truth, not because of Al Heyman, but because of the truth. You know what I mean? I told him he wasn't getting the fight. Al Heyman was playing because I heard the phone calls. You know what I mean? And then BLK Prime comes in, and then you hate BLK Prime because you're jealous of Blue Blood. And it's a whole lot of jealousy going on, man. You know what I mean? Like, I was a huge advocate of PBC, and then I woke up like, oh, shit, nah, this ain't really what it is. And then you just got to accept boxing for what it is. It's a business. Deontay Wilder, and I should say information has awakened him. Same with me. So I stand here February 21st, 2023, 58 years after the Nation of Islam murdered Malcolm X. And I'm telling you guys, if you are hating on Terence Crawford at this point and blaming him for the fight that didn't happen, when they knew about Terence Crawford the first week of October going to BLK Prime, and Errol Spence still doesn't have a fight date and you're blaming Terence Crawford, that's victimhood mindset. Yeah, because you need someone to blame to validate what you believe. You can't just say what you believe. I don't need a B to substantiate my A. I don't say Bob Arum did this, so Al Heyman did. I just say Al Heyman did this. I'll just say Eddie Hearn did this. I don't need no comparative analysis to make my audience feel good. Just like a Democrat needs a Republican. You'll see that all the time. If you hate a Democrat, excuse me, hate, that's the wrong word. If you disagree with the Democrat, you're a Republican. I don't need a Republican. Don't need it. I'll just say the Democratic Party is this. Your daughter is going to be using the restroom with the young boys. Oh, but the Republicans are racist. But your daughter is going to be using the bathroom with little boys. Oh, but the Republicans are racist. All right. Well, all right. Well, you just sit there. And you don't have to compare. You don't have to. Here's what I want you guys to understand. And this is journalism. You don't have to agree on one side to disagree on the other side. Simple. I will give Errol Spence the information. I reached out to his team and gave him the information that I knew. And my texts align with what is really happening right now. I told them. At the same time, I reached out to Terence Crawford, told them the exact same thing I told Errol Spence team, because I knew the information. I didn't withhold the information from Terence Crawford because I believe Errol Spence is going to beat him. When you have the truth in your hand, you're obligated to it. I'm 45, so I understand this now. You know, Malcolm X says, I stand for truth no matter who tells it. You know what I mean? America's only going to tell you the side of him about his evolution, about the white man is a devil, but they won't tell you that from age 37 to 39, he stood for truth, no matter who told it. So that's where I'm at. And I will say, you know what I mean? I had blind faith, and you understand what I'm saying? But not in my real life, in my YouTube sphere. Because in my real life, I'm hella accountable. Work out every day. I work every day. I protect my family. I'm real accountable. But on YouTube, you get caught up in this because it works, and then you get fighters go to Bob Arum. Oh, Bob Arum's racist, but a black fighter goes signs with Bob Arum, then you support Bob Arum. You know, Anthony Joshua's a piece of crap, but Derek James is training him. He's learning tips from Errol Spence. So it's a business. You got to understand. Deontay Wilder said it best. It's a business. It's a business. And we gotta elevate. We can't stay in when we started this and say, I'm standing on this black line and I'm not moving. You got black people in boxing that are terrible. These black fighters are fighting once a year. But you need a white man to hold a black man back. Just stand the line of truth, not to stand the line of black. So I can care less. I'll be honest, I unsubscribed to so many channels because I was just tired of the disrespect and people blaming Blue Blood, Terence Crawford, and this and that, when it doesn't even align with who Earl Spence is. I'm gonna give you a story about Earl. I'm gonna give you 2 stories about Earl Spence. And damn, I gotta go. Going to my stretch. I got stretch. You gotta be honest. You gotta be truthful. I'm 45, so I have a stretch coach twice a week. You know, I mean, I'm only gotta be there at 9:30. It's 9:11. So the point I'm making is this. Earl Spence, Terence Crawford went to the fight. Earl Spence leaned over the rope and said, leave that man alone. He ain't did nothing. He was telling his people, like, leave him alone. Fast, that very same fight, I had a kid, a young man, a grown man. His daughters passed away. Earl Spence flew. He had one daughter left. Flew the young man and his daughter out to the fight on his dime. I was going to pay for it. I said, man, let me know how much it costs. I'll arrange it. I'll send you the money, but I think it's important that, you know, Earl Spence is his favorite fighter, yada, yada, yada. Earl Spence jumped in front of me and paid for the young man. I stand on it. If Earl Spence goes against the truth, I'm going to tell you Earl Spence goes against the truth. I don't hate Earl Spence. And these fighters got these egos, these fragile egos. They get mad. But when they get 45 and retired, they're like, Fred, you was the truth, man. Yes, I'm standing on the truth. And right now, Al Heyman is the problem. And at some point, maybe when he signs with a fight with someone, Terence Crawford gonna blast Al Heyman. I'm privy to the conversations through a third party, not because I was on the phone this time, but through a third party. I'm privy to the conversations that he was having and the delays and the plays and the plays. So I'm privy to that information from someone who knows Terence Crawford, right? And but at the end of the day, Earl Spence, Terence Crawford got to make this fight. Because everyone's their own boss, right? Everyone is their own boss. Hold Earl Spence to being his own boss. That's what he said out of his mouth. I'm going to hold him accountable to that. Terence Crawford says he's his own boss now. Hold him accountable to that. Why isn't Earl Spence calling Terence Crawford and Terence Crawford calling Earl Spence? But we're too afraid to say that because we want to protect a relationship. You don't protect relationships, you grow relationships. And at the end of the day, these fighters aren't going to respect y'all at the end of the day. They're not. Because you're promoting a Keith Thurman fight? When Earl Spence told you for the last 4 years, I'm never fighting him, I don't like him, I don't respect, I don't want him making $1 million payday on my back. I gotta go. But hold these men accountable. My view of the fight doesn't change. But if you're previewed information, you got to tell it with the world. Just like Elijah Muhammad statutory raped those secretaries. I got to tell the truth. When you're obligated to the truth, you got to tell it. Y'all go ahead and have a great day. I'm gone. But this PBC coalition in 2023, and I don't want a Terence Crawford interview. If I see him, I'm going to extend my fist. If we're in close proximity, I'm not going to walk over to him like, hey, buddy, how you doing, man? I'm sorry this. No, I stand on what I said in 2019. That third contract he should have signed with PBC to make the fight. I agree with that. But now hindsight's 2020 when the man is making $4 million per fight. Whew, how do you guarantee? How do you not take that? When Sean Porter's career high payday is $4 million fighting Terence Crawford. So you got to do the math and have common sense. So I don't want a Terence Crawford interview. I'm not advocating on behalf of Terence Crawford. If the fight happens, I got Earl Spence. I may even go to the fight. I may throw a fight party. I may even go to the fight. I don't know. I got a mansion now. I got an acre, man. I want to throw a fight party there, and I want to go to the biggest fight of my lifetime. So I'm in a conundrum. So, but at the end of the day, Earl Spence called Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford called Earl Spence. If they not calling each other, if Earl Spence is behind Al Heyman, that's the problem. Period. But we're too afraid to say that. I have no love lost for Earl. I'm forever in gratitude, thankful for what he did. And I will return the favor at some point throughout our lifetimes. But I have the moxie to say, Earl, you got to call that dude, man. Al Heyman ain't making it happen. You got to take this fight to Saudi Arabia. You got to take this fight to ESPN. If they not giving to you the guaranteed money, then you got to get a sponsorship team. You got to get your sponsorships up. You got to travel the globe and get $500,000 from Cadillac, $200,000 from Instagram. That's how we going to get this money up. But we got to make this fight, because there's nowhere, a place you can go on earth where you're going to get the level of respect, 2, the attention, and 3, the money. Barbershop comments, I got to go. Barbershop conversations. I'll holler at you guys. Peace.